On Syria, I'm sure you are aware of reports today that Damascus and Moscow are now allegedly coordinating and cooperating an offensive to, or I should say an operation, in and around Aleppo. What is the administration's perspective of this alleged partnership?
Well, Kevin, the United States is deeply concerned about the situation in Aleppo. Over the last few weeks, Russian and Assad regime offensive have effectively cut off the opposition-held parts of the city. This only exacerbates the humanitarian situation by laying siege to some 300,000 civilians. The UN Special Envoy has noted that there may only be weeks of humanitarian supplies within the city. So we're taking a look at Russia's announcement of the humanitarian corridors, but given their record on this, we're skeptical to say the least. Access to the city should be open to fully allow for unimpeded humanitarian support and commercial traffic to Syrian civilians in their homes. Unfortunately, Russia's involvement here is consistent with what we've seen from them over the past few months, which is instead of focusing on the threat posed by ISIL, they are instead choosing to prop up the Assad regime. We believe that's not only counter to the national security of the United States, but it's also counter to the stated goals of a political transition inside Syria. As you know, that's not only our stated goal, Russia has stated that as a goal. So by continuing to prop up the Assad regime, we're only delaying the inevitable.
So what does it say then about the overture from Secretary Kerry and the success or lack thereof?
Well, I think that is a conversation that is happening with the goal of trying to strengthen the cessation of hostilities. I know that Secretary Kerry and his counterpart, Foreign Minister Lavrov, have been having a series of conversations. Those steps, if agreed and implemented, will not be based on trust. We'll be looking for specific actions by Russia that show the Assad regime that Russia is going to fulfill their commitments. Unfortunately, I think, as you're getting at, recent actions throw a lot of doubt into Russia's true intentions. So Russia is at a point where they're going to have to make a decision, whether they want to continue to prop up the Assad regime, someone who we believe has lost the legitimacy to lead, not the least of which is because he committed heinous acts against his own people. So Russia can continue to go down that path, or Russia can keep to its word, which is as they have said, the only way to solve Syria right now is a political transition.
Are you aware, I presume you are, of airstrikes that may have claimed the lives of dozens of civilians in Syria? I understand by way of our sources at the Pentagon that CENTCOM is looking into the possibility. What can you tell us about that?
Kevin, you're right.